Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Debbie, from Teacher Success Coach with another episode of it's on the platform of the Female Educators Roundtable. But on Wednesdays, you guys know, the session is empowerment, women empowerment. And how can we empower ourselves and how can we empower each other? And what are the triggers that have started us on our empowerment journey? For me, as you guys, some of you know my story, one of the trigger was me actually having some time off and coming back to trying to get back into employment, i.e. teaching, and some of the challenges I experienced as, being told that you haven't taught for 6-7 years, so therefore, do you know anything about classroom management? And it actually made me realize that some women who have actually stayed home to have children or have become carers, some of the challenges they would have experienced, and they don't know what to do. They don't even know how to empower themselves. And when you are not empowered, you don't have a voice. And when you're in financial challenges, you don't have a voice. So I'm here to say to you guys, yes, you may not have a voice, but you have to empower yourself. And this is what the platform is all about, to encourage you and show you ways that you could empower yourself. Because out there being disempowered is quite challenging, especially for us women. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Introduce yourself and tell us where you've come from and tell us about your journey.
My name is Yolanda Clyburn. I'm from Toms River, New Jersey. Well, all the way out there in the Jersey Shore. And I am a wife of 31 years. I am the mom to 5 amazing adult children. We have 5 grandchildren and 1 on the way. I am a pastor. Yeah, thank you. I'm a pastor with my husband, Overseer Donnie Clyburn. We pastor an amazing group of people at Pathway of Life Ministries, where the word works. And I have also started my coaching journey. So I am now a life coach, and I'm here to, coach people and empower them and help them get from here to there. And I'm just excited what God is doing in my life. I'm also in the medical field. I've been in the medical field for like 30 years now at the same position, and I'm just waiting for God to do his thing and transition me so that I can go full force in the things that I love to do. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fantastic. You have said you've just started your coaching journey. Welcome to the team, I could say.
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks.
So what are you doing your coach? What you intend to do your coaching on?
Okay, so I think I just found my niche. I mean, I've been praying about it and asking God. I'm out there doing reels, whatever God gives me to talk about. And I've been actually praying and asking God. And the very thing that dropped into my spirit was first ladies or women married to pastors. And exciting, but a little nervous, to be honest, keeping it 100 with you. But if God says it, that's where I'm going. I can't mess up unless I get off a track and do me. And I don't want to do me. I want to do his will. So right now I am trying to get everything situated and out there for first ladies or women married to pastors, however you want to say it.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. So what have triggered you onto this empowerment journey, to your empowerment journey? What were the triggers, or what are the triggers?
Okay, so I've had a lot of triggers in my life that has pushed me into a place of being there for women, wanting to empower women, wanting to empower young women and what they're going through in their life. And one thing that kind of triggered me a long time ago, I was about 16 years old and I became pregnant. And church girl, choir girl, whatever you want to call me, I was there and I became pregnant and didn't want to be honest with you, didn't want to go forth with the pregnancy because I wanted to do me. I almost had a scholarship to college. I was on my way playing varsity soccer and wanting to do big things in my life, wanted to be a designer. All these things were floating in my life. Then, we shift a little bit, wanting to be an anesthesiologist, but I had my baby. I became a young mother at the age of 16, and I went on to finish college. But being hard-headed, I got pregnant again. So here I am, a senior in college, and now I got a little girl and an amazing little boy, and I have my diploma. That triggered me to say in the back of my mind, if I can get through this, anyone can get through this. And we know in this world today, a lot of our young people, a lot of our young girls are going through a lot of things in their life that can be detrimental to their future. And having a baby is a big step. It means that you have to come out of your childhood stages and become an adult instantaneously. The biggest thing that I had was support from my family, support from my boyfriend, who is now my husband. We were childhood sweethearts. We met at a summer camp. I was 10, he was 12, and we just went on from there. And after Travis, my second child, we decided to get married and have a family. So now we have 5 kids instead of 2 kids. So that's what triggered my empowerment to go forth and talk to young people. We have a lot of young people in our church, a lot of young girls in our church. And I just want to be there for them, to let them know we all make mistakes. We all have a background. We all have a skeleton in our closet. We all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And God will pick us up. He'll dust us off and still use us for the kingdom. So those are my triggers.
Wow, wow. Thank you for that. What is one of the most powerful things when you were talking was, even though you have babies young, it doesn't stop you from going on and do what you have to do. It is not the end of the road. And I think that is so powerful, that young women need to realize that even if you have a baby young, it is not the end of the world. You can actually continue, pick yourself up and continue.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. So what, you say you're in the medical field. What do you do? What's your medical?
So I am a medical assistant for a pulmonologist in Brick, New Jersey. So I assist the doctors in whatever aspect or area that they need assisting in. Right now I have transitioned, because I've been there for 30 years. I have now transitioned to more of a sit-down position. So I am the one that answers your phone, makes your appointments, schedules your surgeries. And I'm a jack of all trades, so I can do everything in the office without a problem. But now I've taken it back, pulled back a little bit, and I'm sitting at a desk. I'm sitting behind a desk and doing the clerical part of the office.
Okay. You must have found, the fact that you've always been, on the medical aspect, the fact that you're now doing administration, it must feel really strange.
Yes, really strange. But you know what? When I was out on the floor doing the patients, I still had some phone work to do. So I'm not hands-on as much with the patients. Everything is now verbal. Everything is now vocal. So I had the part of hands-on, and now I've transitioned to just doing, verbalizing everything that I do.
Thank you for that. What do you think educational institution could do to empower young people?
Well, the one thing that I think education can do, because when I was in school, and this is something that has been taken out of the school systems, and I don't know why it was taken out of the school systems, but if you remember, I don't know what goes on in the UK, but what went on here in the United States was there was always in our school systems an area that a child could learn a trade. Now, whether that was home ec, or whether that was the electric class, or what else did they have? Welding class, or whatever it was, we were able to learn how to have life skills. And they took it away. And I think if they brought that back and implemented that into our school systems, we will have children that are learning instead of learning with these phones in their faces and over there on YouTube or over there on Instagram, whatever platform. And I'm not knocking the platforms because they're good. But if we can have hands-on education for children in the school system, I think that would empower them even more. That would empower them to go forth and put their hands to something. They could know that I have a gift that is in my hand, and what is in my hand, I'm going to use, because God has given us gifts. All of us, we all have a gift, but nobody wants to take that gift and nurture it so that it can become a part of our everyday life that will empower us to do the things that God has created us to do. Jesus Christ was the carpenter. He had a gift in his hands and he used it out in the world to help those that were in need. Now we know he had a lot of things, other things in his hands as well, but he had a gift, he had a trade. And I think if that was brought back into the school system, it would help our young people and it would empower them and help them learn the trade.
Thank you. That is so true though, because it's the same thing in the UK, because we no longer have, teaching the children a trade. And it would, because you see, what that seems to be concentrating on is academia. Not every child is academic,
Right.
Some children are hands-on, and it is so very true. That would definitely empower them, because they would not feel so disempowered as they do now. And it's like putting them to do something they don't even want to do. They don't want to do the GCSE because they know they're not capable. Whereas if they were trained to do a trade, it would actually really, that's very true. It would definitely empower them, because I'm actually looking at it now in terms of people who home educate the children. They actually teach the child according to the child needs. If the child want to be a doctor, you let the child follow the skill. The child want to be a vet, go and spend some time with animals instead of doing all the unnecessaries that they're doing in GCSE. That doesn't work. It's very true. I totally agree with you there.
That's right. College is not built for everybody, and everybody is not built for the college.
Yeah.
So that's why God has given us those gifts in our hands to use. And you're right, they need to be nurtured.
Yeah. Thank you. Right. The other question is, what do you believe to be the most significant barriers to female empowerment? So what do you think is the biggest barrier to empowering female?
Self-love.
Wow.
Self-love. We have taken ourselves to a place in 2023, and it has happened before 2023, where we look at other women and we compare ourselves to them. We look at other women on social media and we compare ourselves to them. Back with our ancestors, they never had what we have today. They had a small community that they were with, and they kind of looked at each other. There might have been 10 women, and they kind of looked at each other and said, I wish I had that, or I wish I had that, or I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. But today, we have millions of women that we compare ourselves to on social media. You go to the grocery store, there are magazines on the checkout that you look at these models and you want to compare yourself to these models. I don't have the body like she does. I don't look like she does. My nose is too big. My nose is too small. My lips are too big. My backside is too small. Whatever it is, we are comparing ourselves to the women on each social media platform. But we have to realize that what we see on social media isn't always what we see on social media. They kind of give us the middle of everything, the good stuff. They don't put the bad stuff on social media. They only release the good stuff. So it makes us feel like we are not good enough. It makes us feel like we have missed the mark. And we have to learn as women how to love ourselves. We have to learn that what God has given us is the best that he gave us. We're created in his image and in his likeness. We can't all look alike. We have features and we can't all look alike. So we got to learn to love ourselves. We have to learn to say, God, you made me and I'm powerful and I'm beautiful and I accept who I am. We got to look in the mirror at that person that is looking back at us. And we have to do some I am affirmations. And we have to talk to that woman that we see in the mirror. And every day we have to encourage her. Every day we have to empower her. Every day we have to say to ourselves, I can, no matter what, I can do it. Because I can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me. My strength comes from the Lord. And we have to just learn how to love ourselves, and we don't. And a lot of times we don't, it's because of what we've been through in the past, or because of what someone else has told us, or because of some kind of crisis that we have been through. But we have to leave that stuff in the past. And I know, like I said before, easier said than done, but we have to leave that stuff in the past, and we have to get into our future. And we have to know we are the only ones that can really love ourselves the way we need to be loved. We can't look for it in other people. We have to start with ourselves, because if we don't love ourselves, how in the world are we going to love other people? How are we going to do that? The Bible tells us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So love starts with us. If we can't love ourselves, how are we going to love our neighbors? So my answer to your question is we got to start with loving ourselves.
Thank you. That's fantastic. That is so true, because I constantly talking on my platform about self-love and self-care, because if you don't love, number one, you don't know what it looks like to love anyone else. So you need to know what it looks like to you so that you can love someone else. And I always say to people, the same way when you're falling in love, you are buying this person all these wonderful gifts, etc. Buy those gifts for yourself too, because you are worthy of those gifts.
You're worth it. That's right. You're worth it.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
And it's a big part with self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care, you have to take a big part in self-care with yourself. And you're right. Love on yourself, buy yourself gifts, buy yourself flowers if you have to, buy yourself a box of candy if you have to. You're worth it. You are worth it. Self-care is so important. And it all starts in your mind. You have to have a mind shift, and you have to renew your mind. And that's where it starts.
Yep, I totally agree with you. And I actually prescribe, I must say, I say to women, buy yourself flowers every week. It doesn't have to be expensive. Buy yourself something every week. It could be a bunch of flowers that cost you $1.99. The thought of buying yourself that, it's your gift to you.
That's right. That's right. Buy a nice candle. Make your atmosphere smell beautiful. Yes. Buy some spray, room spray. Make your atmosphere beautiful. You have to walk into your home or into the atmosphere that you live in and say, yes, this is mine, and make it beautiful. Your atmosphere around you is so important. It can shift your mood. It is so important. So we might as well set it up to be victorious so that we can love on ourselves.
Yep, it's very true. And you could be sometimes sending yourself a card. You are wonderful. Those wonderful cards. You are such an amazing person. Send yourself cards.
That's right.
Do those things, because the same way when you're actually dating somebody, you're sending out that you're giving him all this nice trinket, etc. Hello, give yourself some of those.
That's right. So true.
Yep.
True.
Right. Thank you for that. How do you empower yourself? And how do you empower other women that is in your space?
Okay. All right. How do I empower myself? A lot of prayer. A lot of prayer. I am a prayer warrior. I have a prayer ministry every morning at 6 a.m. And I just love to pray and stay in fellowship and in communication with the Lord. Very important to me. The word is very important to me. I study the word, and I allow the word to transform me. I allow the word to bring me power. What else do? I do a lot of webinars. If anybody's watching that knows me, they know I love webinars. I love to learn. I love books. I love reading. And that empowers me. That gives me power. Knowledge is power. So I love to read books, and I love to spend time with my husband, spend time with my family. My husband is amazing. He is a cancer survivor. Actually, today was his last day of a chemo treatment. He came off of chemo today. So me spending time with him and taking care of him, that empowers me to know that I am there for him, to love on him. So that's just an amazing thing for me. How do I empower women that are in my space? I am head of our women's ministry at Pathway of Life Ministries. And the way I empower women in my space is I do things for them to make them feel good. I give them lessons to learn. I do book clubs with them. We go on walks together. Saturday, we have a walk together as a church family of women. We're just going to go to a park and we're going to walk and laugh and joke with each other. Sometimes we have fellowship outside of the church. We haven't done one in a while, but sometimes we have fellowship, pouring into them, letting them know that I love them, embracing him. I'm a hugger. So I love to hug, and just embracing them and let them know that they are loved and I'm there for them. I spend a lot of time in prayer for the women of Pathway of Life Ministries because I feel that they are worth it. I feel they're worth my time of going before the Lord and just praying for them. And then when they do something or they receive something from the Lord, I celebrate with them. I applaud them and I just give them good affirmations because they are so worth it. The women mean a lot to me. I have other women that I pour into outside of church. They know they can reach out to me and I'm a sounding board for them or an encourager for them because they need it in their time. Young women, old women, it doesn't matter their age. I am always available to help them and push them into their places where they can flourish. So many times women are just getting by and they're just surviving. They're just surviving with their head above water. And that's not what God wants for us. He does not want us to just survive. He wants us to thrive. He wants us to flourish. And he wants us to be happy in the areas that we are in. And there's so many things going on in our lives that are pulling us down and trying to defeat us. And we just need somebody to come alongside of us and give us an encouraging word, give us a smile, give us a hug, because that gives us joy and it lifts us up. And instead of women tearing each other down, we need to build each other up. We really do need to build each other up. We need to stop being in competition with each other and start loving each other and start being there for each other. So that's how I empower myself. And I also empower other women that are in my space.
Thank you. That's really powerful because one of the common things that comes up on the show on a Wednesday in terms of the question I ask, who, in terms of barriers and in terms of empower women, etc. And the same thing comes up all the time, that women need to stop competing with each other. Women need to stop being so negative of each other. Women need to actually hold space for each other. Instead of tearing them down, they should be building each other up. However, we could actually say, I do feel that society and the media and all of that have a lot to do with it in terms of how they have brainwashed women and tell them, they need to be better than this one. And as a result of that, they feel that they have to be better than each other. And in order to do that, it means tearing another woman down. And it's quite sad. It's really sad.
It is very sad. It is very sad. And as you're saying that, the Lord brought back to me the story of Ruth and her mother-in-law, Naomi, and what they were going through, the devastating time that they were going through in their life. And Naomi basically told her daughter-in-law, go back to your family. I have nothing more to give you. And she refused to go. She stayed beside her mother-in-law and she helped her through the situation that she was going through. And a lot of times in our lives as women, we need that in our life. We need a Ruth to come alongside of us and say, it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what you can give me and what you can't. What matters is I'm here to help you live. I'm here to help you rekindle your joy. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. We don't have that anymore in this society. We really don't. And it's something that needs to be built upon. It's something that needs to grow in our lives, so we can have those friends that we can trust. That when you tell your business, it's not posted on social media. When you tell your business, it stays with the person that you told. You have to have trust, and you have to befriend each other and be there for each other. So we need Ruths in our lives. So we have to think, who is that Ruth that you have in your life that will come alongside of you and help you on the journey that you're going through?
Yeah, that is so very true. That is so spot on. So very, very true. Because women feel they cannot trust each other anymore because of, the exposure, and people feel that it is worthy of flinging things on social media. They fail to realize the danger of social media.
Right. Yeah. So true.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you. We know that there's some men in our spaces, some men that help to empower women. What would we do extra to encourage them to continue to inspire other women and to support other women? What do we need to tell these guys? What do we need to do to them? What do we need to, what do we need to do to them? Do with them as well?
The main thing I think we need to do is be honest. A lot of times we're not honest, and we need to be vulnerable. We don't like to show vulnerability either. We like to let people think that we have it all together, and we really don't. And we need to be open so that the men in our lives know exactly what we need. A lot of times we think that the men in our lives should know. Well, you've been with me all this time. Shouldn't you know what I want? But it's not like that all the time. Sometimes they don't know. And we have to tell them, and we have to allow ourselves to be in a place where we say to them, hear my heart. You have to hear my heart, because this is where I am right now. This is bothering me right now. And I don't want to be the one that's nagging you, but I want to be the one that's saying to you, I'm being honest with you right now. So we have to let the men in our lives, or the men in our space, or the men that is around us know that we need you guys. We need the men in our lives. We need them to be who they're supposed to be, the priest of the home and the strong figures in our lives. Because a lot of times women have trouble in their lives being vulnerable, being open, because of the relationship that they had with their father. So when the relationship with their father is not right, the relationship with the other men or their husbands are not going to be right. So they need to be healed from the relationship that they had with their father a long time ago, because they have brought that relationship into their present. And not only have they brought that relationship into their present, they're going to take that relationship into their future. So sometimes women that are in an area in their lives that need to be empowered, they need to take it back. They need to take it back sometimes and revisit that little girl that was hurt a long time ago and be healed from those areas, so that they can move on to receive what God has for them in their future. Healing needs to take place in the lives of a lot of women that have been abused, whether it's physically, whether it's sexually, whether it's verbally. Abuse is real, and they have not healed from that. And they don't know how to be empowered, because they have a lot going on in the back of their mind. They have a lot of areas that they're still living in that have paralyzed them, that are not allowing them to go forward. So a healing must take place before the empowerment can even be birthed. We have to be healed from past experiences. We have to be healed from past abuse in our lives, that we can go forward and be empowered. And then we can empower those who are coming up underneath us.
Thank you. That was powerful. That was so powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is so powerful. Thank you. And the other question is, what are some of the obstacles do you think women encounter, which is preventing them from breaking through the glass ceiling?
Okay. Some of the obstacles, sometimes I think, is the inner me. It's yourself. We hold ourselves back. We cannot allow the world to tell us who we are. We should know who we are. We should know that we are powerful. And because we are not loving ourselves, because we are living in the past, because we are telling ourselves we are who we used to be, we can't break through the glass ceiling. We have a choice, and we can make that choice. We can make our voice be heard without being in bondage. And a lot of times we are in bondage because we allow other people to hold us in bondage. We have the power to break through the glass ceiling. We have everything at our fingertips to be successful. It just takes time. And we have to put in the time, because we are worth it. And if we don't believe in ourselves, nobody's going to believe in us. It starts with self. The only way we're going to break through that glass ceiling. And a lot of times we depend on other people to do it for us. And we can't. We know ourselves. People are going to fail us, and they don't do it intentionally. They are just going to do it. And we have to step out and trust ourselves. And sometimes we're going to step out and we're going to fail, but it's okay, because we can't be the one that goes forth and receive unless we have some past failures, because failures teach us along the way. They're growing moments. That's what my husband calls them, growing moments. And we have to grow. We're going to stumble. We're going to fall. I watch my grandchildren in their infant stages beginning to walk, and they take steps and they fall. Don't you know they still get up and try it again? They don't stay on the ground. And a lot of times we pick them up and go, come on, we can do this. And we're standing across the room and we're cheering them on while they're taking those steps. And they might fall again, but we pick them up and we put them up again, and they keep going. And sooner or later, they're putting one foot in front of the other, and they got this thing down packed. They might be a little wobbly. They might be a little shaky. They might look like they're going to fall again, but they keep going until they master it. And I'm just here to encourage whoever is listening on today. You got to keep going, because sooner or later, you're going to master it. Nobody can hold you bondage but you. Break through that glass ceiling. Don't allow it to hold you. There's so much out there for you that you can achieve and receive, but it's all in what you're doing. Everything that you need, God has supplied it for you. You have the ability to get it done, and don't allow anyone to steal that from you. Get up, dust yourself off, put one foot in front of the other, and go forward in victory.
Wow, wow. I couldn't put it better myself. That is so true. That's just, there's nothing for me to say here. That is fantastic. That is so fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, so fantastic. The next one is, what can we as women do to empower young women? Hold on a second.
Young women. Okay. What can we do to empower young women? Well, we have to come alongside of them. And instead of tearing them down and talking about them, we need to build them up. We need to be there for them when they're in need. We need to literally sometimes grab them by their hands and say, come with me. We're going to do this together. We need to let them know that they are not alone. We need to also let them know that I've gone through some things that you have gone through, and God is no respecter of person. So if he got me through it, he's going to get you through it. A lot of times we turn our backs on the young adults and we're going, oh my God, did you see what she's wearing? Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see how they're acting? Instead of coming beside them and going, listen, I love you and I want you to be better. Let's do this thing together. Let me show you the road that I walked on. Let me tell you what I've gone through. Let me share my life and my space with you. And that makes them feel good, like somebody wants to take care of me. Somebody wants to show me. You don't know what they're going through at home. You have no clue. But the Bible tells us to be a Titus 2 woman. We need to take these young people and we need to show them how to live. We need to show them that there's joy and happiness in the places that they're living in. They don't need, there was a song that just popped in my head when we were younger. I can't remember the title of the song, but the lyrics was, you don't have to take your clothes off to have a good time. I don't remember the name of the song. I don't remember who sung it, but that just popped in my head because you see so many young people, they don't even have clothes on anymore because this is how they want to get attention. This is how they think that they want to have a good time because I'm wearing absolutely nothing. And I'm looking at the celebrities on TV and I want to be like them. But those celebrities on TV, they go home and the loneliness that they feel, no one there, and they just probably cry. We have it more better than they do. So to help young women to be empowered in this world today, we as the older women have to come alongside of them and share our wisdom and our knowledge with them. They might not listen at first, but you're planting a seed. And when you plant that seed, somebody else is going to come alongside of you and they're going to water that seed. And then someone else is going to speak into their life. And then God is going to bring the increase. And they're going to say, I remember when Pastor Yolanda said something or Miss Debbie said something to me. I remember that. And it's always going to be in the back of their mind. And they're going to hold on to that. And it's going to help them through their journey. So instead of tearing them down, we have to build them up. We have to say good things to them. A text message goes a long way. A phone call, nobody makes phone calls anymore, goes a long way. Writing a card, mailing it to them, goes a long way. To empower them, we have to be there for them. We have to encourage them. We have to push them. And definitely have to love on them.
Yep, that is so true. Oh my goodness, there's nothing for me to add. That's it, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And the final thing is, what 3 tips can you give women to empower themselves?
3 tips. Well, my first one always is a relationship with the Lord. God has to be number 1 in your life. He has to take precedence over everything that you're doing in your life. You have to make room for him so that he can show you the way. My second tip would be learn. Take in as much knowledge as you can so you can better yourself. Stop relying on everybody else to speak into you. You have it already in you. Pick up the word, pick up a book, read, listen, glean. You have so much in front of you. Take advantage of what God has given to you. And my third tip, of course, which should have been my second tip, but I'm going to throw it in there. Love on you. Love on you. You are worth it. You are beautiful. You are powerful. And you have to learn how to love yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. They're going to fall in line or they're not going to fall in line. It doesn't matter. You have to take care of yourself. Sometimes we feel guilty when we're taking care of ourselves. We feel guilty when we're doing self-care. We feel guilty when we're taking our time and putting our feet up on the couch and reading a book. We feel guilty when we're sitting down and everybody else is doing everything else. Don't feel guilty. Sometimes we need to rest. We are not robots. We need to take a sabbatical and just rest. Go sit by the water. Read a book or not. Go sit by the water. Look at a sailboat sailing by. That's self-care. Stop bombarding ourselves with stress and everything around us. Love on yourself. Do some self-care because you are so worth it. So those would be my 3 tips, and empowerment will follow. Can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm muted. Thank you so very much. And that is fantastic. Thank you for actually accepting to come onto the show. I'm really grateful for that and sharing your journey with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, my Facebook audience, for listening, and take care, and I'll see you guys on Friday, where we'll be talking about oh my goodness, my mind's gone blank, where we'll be talking about homeschooling and the power of homeschooling over the traditional education. Thank you, Yolanda, and take care, stay blessed, and I'll be in touch. Thank you.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.